Alright guys, the Premium Comment here, and today we are going to be starting to take a look at the multi-mission exchangeable unit. So this time around, let's actually get started with the Ginn Type High Mobility version. So before going over to the actual unit itself, I do want to quickly cover the pilot because that is usually something I tend to forget. So let me actually cover that real quick. So pilot, we have Sato here. So he's actually not a bad melee centric, a pilot. So this one is specifically going to be for infighter. The more I would say interesting fact about this pilot is going to be the portrait. This one is going to be an enemy all power reduction by 25%. So this one's gonna be good if any of you guys out there are trying to do like a enemy reduction type build. This one is definitely going to be a very good foundation for especially free to play and especially for that pilot slot. So not bad. The overall stat is actually quite respectable for the melee department, 5k for the base melee, and then another good 4,000 for the melee defense. So that's very good. So that's that. As for the Genesis, we do have what, 8 parts in total. So this was a unit that I forgot to exchange back then, so I was like, oh well, I guess I'd have to wait for the rerun of it. And honestly, purchasing it right now, trying to complete everything, is definitely more expensive than it is like compared to the arena coin one. So I'm just like, okay, gotta start grinding for this week. But yeah, so we do have 8 parts in total. There's only one EXQ, and this EXQ is quite interesting. The Lie Slash. So this one is actually, I don't know, you can kind of classify this one maybe as like a counter EXQ. I think that's how it works based on the description. So I never really used this one all that much. I think the other only unit that has this EXQ was the Ahead Mr. Bushido version, and I'm not quite sure how that actually works, so we'll actually go ahead and try it out in today's video as well. But other than that, let's take a look at the full set of the unit first, and then we'll hop over to the alteration tab and see what kind of goodies we're looking at. So yeah, Statos, I maxed out back then because he was a very good defensive type. Just that reduction was like something that I needed at the time, so that's why. So it's not bad. Just like a basic Ginn with a little bit of that I guess purple-ish color with there. So as for the alteration, let's take a look. So this one is a brand new alteration, so I do expect some pretty good secondary portrait if so, right? So the stat is going to be as follows. So not really that impressive, I would say. Even a shot for the head part, usually it is a little bit higher, but this one not really. As for the word tag wise, we do have mixed exclusive and I was about to say commander close combat. So this one is definitely on that very weird type, combination of it. But okay, let's see what we have. So the first portrait was already good. As for the second, the new one is okay. So after you defeat, so this one is when you take down 3 enemy, you get an instant cooldown or reduced cooldown by 99%. So this what that means. After you kill the third enemy, you're almost gonna be like, you just want that 1% off, but you are gonna be able to replenish your EXQ right away. So this one is like a very good pseudo 100% cooldown if you will. So this one honestly is a very good to pick up. So if you guys do have some coins laying around, this is definitely a head part that you don't want to miss. This portrait is really powerful, but obviously this one has to be a very situational one, because if you take an event that only wants enemy, guess what, you're not going to activate that one. So this one is good for any event that has more than 2 actually, or more than 3 if you want to put it like that. But this one is good. I would definitely cop that if I were you guys. So not bad for sure, not bad at all. Moving over to the torso, it's not bad. Definitely, I want to say definitely pretty good from the free-to-play aspect of it. Some pretty good armor as well, so that's good to see. Stay more tag once again, ace exclusive, and then close combat. So that's definitely a weird combo. And okay, oh wait, hold on, whoa, I read that wrong. I mean, I should say, oh no, is that what? Oh, okay. So the effect itself is good, right? But guess what? They want you to be using in a close or in a ace exclusive. Ace exclusive is more of like a shooting based word tag you want to be using. So especially in a close or in a melee build, you wouldn't really be running that. So that's a bummer, right? So this one is actually a very powerful, but you are going to be losing on some stat if you want to build it directly how they want you to be doing it. Ace exclusive, close combat, and then whatever the third word tag is. So this one is good. I would definitely 100% say the effects is top tier, like opening like that. But man, why does the activation condition has to just ruin it? You know, like why? I'm sad now. Like this one would be good. This one would have been nearly perfect, but they had to give us that caveat, right? Man, I mean like that melee or that enemy melee damage plus 35% is so powerful in a way. So I mean like even despite the fact that they says you have to be using it in a shooting based tags, I mean like it's still good to farming up. I guess in a way if you want to go for like a dual type build, I think in that situation it would definitely help. But other than that, this one is still a solid one that I feel like you guys should be prioritizing as well alongside with the head part. So it's good, but just that one tiny little bit they want to screw it up. So the armor is actually quite good, almost 90k, and then this have some pretty good shot or mainly defense, like 4,400. So that's actually respectable. Same war tag once again, ace exclusive, and then close combat. Like why? Why are we doing that? Okay, so this one. So this one is not bad. The secondary portrait is definitely a redemption, but I think that hard cap of 20% timer up on that cooldown is actually not going to be beneficial because you are pretty much going to be losing time. So I don't know if you guys want to go for that because this is a very, very negative kind of condition right there. I don't know how many people are actually up for that because like look, technically speaking, in a build, let's say people want to continuously spam their EX or whatever, so they'll go for a build that has like what enemy cooldown reduction by X amount percentage. So 100% would be a very good. 100% is actually a percentage you want to be at to consistently get your EX up. But with this on right here, with this 20%, you're gonna need a total of 120% to kind of proctor your EX simultaneously. So this one I would definitely say is gonna be a very bad double-edged sword. So if you don't really care about that cooldown up, definitely use it. But if you do, that arm part is probably not gonna be a good one to be using. So yeah, kind of sad that they want to do it like that, but can't really do anything about that. As for the leg part, that's gonna be default size, so it's not that bad. You know, 3k and then almost a 4k for the melee defense, so that's actually pretty respectable. AC exclusive and then high mobility, huh? So yeah. So this one is definitely going to be, you know, towards that kind of like a dual type build-esque in a way. So they do give you some pretty good, well, they outright give you that ace exclusive. And then now they want to throw ahead and put in high mobility and then close combat, right? So yeah, this one is definitely looking like a dual type build for sure. This one right here. So EX skill wise, so after alteration, we are looking at A minus. So that's actually pretty good. I think the most important part about this EX skill is like how effective is it. It talks about that. So it ready your weapon and mow down enemies that enter your space. So what, like how close this your enemy has to be before this one kind of counters it in a way. So we'll definitely find that out for sure. So moving over to the back part, let's see what we are doing here. So pretty good stats, so not going to be, you know, talk too much about that because that is pretty much going to be like the same progression that we're seeing throughout the part. So that's, you know, pretty good. Same tag once again, exclusive and then high mobility and portrait wise. Okay, I can definitely live with that. I think it's definitely a very good upgrade as for the secondary portrait. Leg part, you know, it's definitely serviceable. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but if we do look at it at the perspective of a free-to-play parts, I think that is pretty good. The EX skill power boost by 40%, like who doesn't want that? So this one is actually good. So if you guys still need some good leg parts that has a pretty decent, you know, portrait, this one is a non-conditional one, so you can technically throw this one onto your shooting build as well, and you can definitely benefit from that. So this one is definitely a free for all. You can toss it, you know, on any build, and it should work as for the portrait wise. It's just the war tag wise. It may be funky in terms of like how you want to pair things up with, but overall, still a really good back part to be looking at. So going over to the melee weapons, so that is some pretty good stat. So 10k and then a little bit of a, you know, melee defense. So we'll definitely take that. What about the portrait? What are we doing here? So well, close combat, all enemy. Okay, so they're doing a squad edition for this one. So pretty much all enemy EXP recovery reduced by 16%. So this one is simply, if I recall, this one is simply talking about like some EXQ gives like XP recovery, like those armor recovery. I think this one is simply reducing that one by 16%. I think that's how it pretty much works. It's been a very long time since we have seen one of these right here, so that's honestly a surprise. As for the secondary portrait, when armor is 60% or less, cooldown reduced by 99% once again. Like what? So the head part has this already, and that one was geared towards like what, having 3 enemy shot down, and then we have another one. So this one, if you have this whole suit combined, you are getting 2 freebie in instance. Granted, you do have to fall below that 60% threshold, which could be a little bit hard, but this is good. Like, what are they doing? Like, this one is good. Head part is definitely really solid, so we'll definitely take that. Going over to the beam carbine, is that what it is? How does it even look like? Oh, it looks like a regular beam rifle to me. That is a fairly sizable melee defense. Oh my gosh, that's good. Okay. Shadow Sight not really that present in the way. It's not like that good, but other than that, portrait wise is not going to be that good. So this one in total, we are getting up to a 33% job gauge increase boosted. So like this again, if you guys are using job license that has like, if you guys are using job license geared the 4-star version of it, you do not really need to rely on the refilling of your job gauge anymore, because like it's pretty much going to be like a one and done. Honestly, I don't ever really see reactivating the limit break once again after activated for the first time. So this one, if you do like it, if you feel like you need to rely on it because you do not have like the latest or the highest rarity gear for the AI palette, you can definitely use this one. Honestly, it's not that bad, I guess, in a way, but I wouldn't really waste a portrait slot, especially 2 portrait slots for these 2 portrait here. I just don't think they're that serviceable in a way. So that's pretty much just my opinion. Maybe you guys like it, but you know, definitely going to be a personal preference and depending on what you guys have, right? Last but not least, we have the shield. So the shield wise over here. So what are we doing here? Okay, the first one is honestly not good, right? Because like we don't even have any EX gear that is shot based, so I don't know why. As for the secondary portrait, so for 10 seconds after being attacked with an EX skill, enemy melee damage plus 40%. So regarding this type of specific portrait, I don't know, because first of all, you have to take an EX skill. So sometimes when you are taking an EX skill, it could be like a life or death situation. So sometimes you get one-shotted by an EX skill. So how are you going to be able to activate that secondary portrait? You pretty much don't. So I feel like this one is good and bad at the same time. I think the activation time, like let's say how many times you are able to activate that, I think it's very slim. Because like I just feel like in any situation, if you take an EX skill, you might just die. So I don't really see it too effective, but it still definitely has its usability. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on what kind of build you guys look at. Some people might have tanky build, like I have a tanky build, and maybe I'm able to tank a few EX skill. Then for the 10 seconds, I'll be able to activate that. But all in all, this one's just a very situational thing, depending on what kind of enemy lineup you're looking at. But it's not bad. I think overall, as for the Ginn type high mobility, there's definitely a lot of good solid options. As for the portrait, definitely something to really format to, I guess, in a way. But other than that, I'm just gonna hop into a friend battle and test out that EX skill, or maybe not the friend battle. I'm gonna hop into this week's multi mission, the crew mission, since we do have a bunch of enemies. So I just want to see how close your enemy has to be before it proctors, and I guess that should be pretty much it. Alright, so we are in, so let me see how that works, right? Okay, so I'm gonna activate this. Oh, I didn't even see anything. So I'm activating this, so you are gonna be in a stand. Oh, okay. So let me see if I can activate like this. Like, does it work? Oh, what? Hold on. Like this, right? So I'm like right here. That's sick. That is nice. Oh, so I guess it's a few seconds. So if they don't rush towards you per se, like I'm just right here, right? So if the enemy doesn't rush towards you, you still get the slash. So it's gonna be very delayed, right? So if I'm right here, they backed up, right? So I'm not really, so yeah, it's more, so this one is like more of a counter EXQ than anything, I guess, in a way. I'm still taking damage, so there's no frames. So I'm still 100% taking those damage. So I don't know how I feel about that, but it's good. I think it's definitely a fun EXQ, I would have to say. I guess the thing I also do want to try out is like, can we counter? I know this is not labeled as a quote-unquote counter EXQ, but let's say I activate that and my enemy rushes towards me. Do I counter that? I would actually quit this right now because we just tested out what we need to see. I think the next thing I want to know is like, can we counter Kenshi EXQ? That is the most important thing I want to try it out. So, alright, so we are loaded up with a friend battle right now. So my friend right here does have 3 Kenshi EXQ. So let me see how things gonna work. Let me just activate this right now, just in case. Oh, okay, we're taking a little bit, so that's good. I'm waiting for my friend to activate Kenshi EXQ. Activate this right now. No, we couldn't counter it. No, it went through. What? Okay, that was a good try on my end, but looks like we can't really, quote unquote, this one is not really labeled as a EXQ or a counter EXQ, but it is definitely worth a try, honestly, in my opinion. But if you're talking about any other EXQ or just any enemy that is going to be within your close proximity, this EXQ or just any of the EXQ that is like live slash for example, it is going to be countering. So it's not bad. I think that is definitely quite fun. I wish that they would do more of these type of EXQ where it's a little bit more passive as for the countering mechanics. It's not specifically labeled as like a, oh, you're gonna be countering Kenshi EXQ or anything. But I think that's definitely fun. So it's not bad overall. So do let me know how you guys feel about the Ginn type high mobility. I think honestly it's a really good solid alteration. EXQ definitely really fun. That is only EXQ, but I think that's fun in my honest opinion. But other than that, that's going to be pretty much it for me, and then I'll be catching you all on the next one.